All right, hello wine drinking people. We are back. It's July 8th, and it's always nice to see old friends. You know, I've been tasting wines with Parole Perry, the gentleman that founded Augustan Imports, well, since he founded the company, 15 years ago or more. And, this was tasting, kind of focused on a lot of the brands that have been with Augustan for a long period of time, kind of like their staple wines or bread and butter wines. And it's funny because I remember when several of these wines came to Parole. As a matter of fact, I was the one that recommended Paul Hobbs wines to Parole when I was buying them direct from Paul years ago, working at Cafe Max. So kind of a special relationship the Wine Watch has with Augustan Wine Imports, and all these wines are great. I visited several of these wineries as well, and I know the owners of several of them, good friends with, and it's always nice to sell the wines from the people that you know and like. And you know what? I like everybody in this portfolio, and I like the wine. So easy sell here at the Wine Watch. We started out with the 2010 Adelsheim Pinot Gris from the Willamette. Been there. We've done several events with the Adelsheims throughout the years. Fresh pear and lemon, lime, citrus fruit on the nose. Very clean, this lovely kind of white floral nuance as well. Pinot Gris being, the #1 white varietal in Oregon. I don't know why Chardonnay hasn't done better, but Pinot Gris seems to do very well. And not a sweet style of Pinot Gris like you find in Alsace. Usually they're drier and leaner, a little more what you get from Italy, Pinot Grigio. Lovely pear and apple fruit with this, some lemon, lime, citrus showing on the tongue, and a slight salty nuance to the finish there as well. Very refreshing and clean, leaves the tongue salivating for food. Really good stuff at $20. All right, the next wine, Pulenta Savion Blanc from Mendoza, Alto Agrello. And we're starting to see areas in Mendoza get categorized a little closer to this Alto Agrello region, one of those smaller areas, and then Mendoza being huge, 10 times the size of Napa Valley. All right, this one had some pretty melon and pink grapefruit citrus on the nose with hints of green fig and a hint of that fresh cut grass that you get from Savion Blanc. A little vanilla spice in there also may indicate some oak aging. A good amount of tropical fruit on the tongue with nice richness and depth for a Savion Blanc. Again, may indicate this wine gets some oak, and but that nice grapefruit, pink grapefruit zesty finish showing with a note of salt on the finish. Very good stuff at 16 1/4. All right, Patson Hall. The first time I visited Honig Winery, James Hall toured me through the winery. The partner here, Donald Patz, I've seen in Burgundy at the Grand Jour de Bourgognes. We've done events with, so two guys, really some of the leaders in their industry, been around a long time. This Dutton Ranch is the cornerstone of their Chardonnay program, the oldest relationships that they have with their grower, and the largest production of their single vineyard wines is 2009, maybe a little bit young still. Most of this is old Wente clones, a nose of kind of lemon curd, fresh pineapple citrus, lightly toasted oak spice, with a good amount of minerality they're showing, and a note of creme caramel as well. Fairly complex bouquet there, bright and juicy fruit on the tongue, a lovely balanced wine with that juicy fruit, but again, nice acidity and good minerality showing through the finish with just a touch of oak, the right touch there. Excellent juice. Next up, the Ramey Sonoma Coast. Most of this is from Martinelli Charles Ranch. Very different wine from what they're making at Martinelli. Much more balanced, not near as ripe and sweet over the top. One of the most spectacular vineyards in Sonoma, the Platte Vineyard, that's going to be a single vineyard for them next year. So this 2008 has got some stellar vineyards in it. Sonoma Stage Vineyard coming up to finish up the rest of the blend. Just a whiff of that buttered toast on the nose, complementing the ripe peach and white currant fruit. A touch of vanilla and nutmeg spice there as well. Good concentration and depth of fruit flavors on the tongue with that pronounced minerality, persistent acidity, and lots of fruit through the finish, along with that nutmeg and vanilla spice. Excellent juice as well, $30. A little bit cheaper than the Patson Hall, so we're going to go with the Ramey Sonoma Coast with the face-off on these two. All right, the Calera Pinot Noir Central Coast. This is Josh Jensen's biggest production. He is still the only one out there, in his area in Mount Harlan making wines. It's just too difficult to grow grapes there for most people. The yields are so low. He is making some of the best Pinot Noir in California and has been for 20, 30 years now. A real pioneer. And, this wine is from purchased fruits, obviously not from his stuff at $28, $25 a bottle. But still, his top cuvées sell for between $50 and $75 a bottle with the production and yields and the proven, nature of this wine. To me, it should be the most expensive Pinot Noir coming coming out of California. All right, well, there was severe frost in 2008, so unfortunately you're going to see a single vineyard dramatically reduced. This wine had a lovely bouquet of fresh flowers, exotic spices, black cherry, and almost like a rhubarb kind of note to the fruit, though very forward and inviting, fresh and lively on the tongue with a nice balanced style of Pinot Noir leading into a zesty finish. That's exactly what we expect from Josh, California, but, you know, very European finish, very lovely acidity tying things together, silky smooth tannins. Excellent juice for an entry-level Pinot. 28 1/4. If anyone deserves it, Josh does. All right, Domaine Serene GM Hill Cuvée 2008. Very complex bouquet. This is one of the greatest producers of Pinot in, you know, all of the world, but they just happen to be in the Willamette. A little mint, cola, exotic spices, fresh cherry pie-like fruit with raspberry and strawberry nuance. Really complex bouquet. This wine, it's not, this is a declassification of Evenstad. So in a great vintage, they make a small amount of this, like 2008. So this will go quickly. Lovely spice on the palate here as well, with a lot of that red berry fruit and lovely acidity. Great balance. Excellent juice. That's what I had to drink with the folks from Augustan, folks. Next up, we've got Quintessential Wines with Morgan Cushman.